This is US Africa Television, USAfricaOnline.com, and Class Magazine special and exclusive interview with an African professional, an attorney at law, graduated in Nigeria as a lawyer and also graduated here in the United States as an attorney. He has the double experience in jurisprudence of being licensed to practice in those two sections of the world. I speak of no other person than attorney Derek Obialo. Derek, it's nice to have you today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Tell me and our readers why you decided to run for a judge position here in Texas.
After having practiced for a long time with tremendous experience serving this community, I think I need to give our community a voice in the judiciary. Given the metropolitan aspect of the way Houston is, Fort Bend County being a part of the larger metropolis of Houston, I think that needs to be reflected in the Justice Administration.
What is your agenda? What are your core positions? Why should somebody vote for you instead of your opponent?
I have three particular objectives, agenda that I'm pushing. One of them, I bring to the table a compassionate, and I repeat, a compassionate perspective to justice administration. I do that given the background that I come from. I'm going to do justice, but do it compassionately, as opposed to my opponents who will have a one-sided perspective towards justice administration, which is from the prosecutorial side. Secondly, I want to make the justice system efficient for all litigants and all citizens that come before it. That is particularly important, not just for the litigants, but for the attorneys that practice before this court. It makes cost of legal services low and ultimately helps everybody out. Thirdly, I would like to make justice administration accessible to all citizens. And by all citizens, I mean all citizens, from whatever community that you come from. I want justice to be accessible and seen as accessible to everyone.
What do you consider to be more important? Immigration laws that make it easier for people to migrate into the United States, or enforcement activities that will push out those who came in illegally? What will be your priority?
Just a little perspective. The particular court that I'm running for will not be dealing with immigration issues, enforcement of immigration issues, because that will be purely a federal court system. This court will deal primarily with justice administration for the city, the state, the county, and particular state of Texas. Civil cases, criminal cases. My own personal perspective towards that will be, yes, there should be compassionate dispensation of justice in terms of immigration enforcement. Yes, we need some people to be pushed out, but only people who deserve it. We should do it with compassion, knowing that this country is one that is built on immigrant labor and immigrant efforts and immigrant sweat. Every one of us will have a history or can draw their roots to somewhere else, except for the Native Americans.
In terms of comparative knowledge of the judicial systems, how does Nigeria compare to the United States? In terms of the judicial system, the dispensation of justice, the roles of attorneys and the roles of judges, you've seen both sides.
Yes. There's a lot that has to be learned from the Nigerian system. I think both systems need to learn a lot from each other, but most importantly, I feel that our system in Nigeria is one that lacks resources to work efficiently. Not only resources in terms of technology, in terms of funding, but resources in terms of education of the not just the litigants, but the practitioners in those courts and the judges as well. There's tremendous drawback because of the lack of education, knowledge as to what will make this system work more efficiently. The U.S. system, of course, I think is the most efficient system. It caters to the low and the lowly and the mighty. But every system has its fault. There's a lot of shortcomings in the United States system, in Texas system. We work to correct that all the time. That's one of my goals in trying to be on this side of justice administration, to correct whatever inefficiencies we have. But each side can learn from the other.
When are you fighting for the primaries nomination?
The primaries are coming up on March the 3rd, 2020, and it's called a Super Tuesday. It's a primary. I think this message needs to be reinforced, especially because Texas is called an open primary state, meaning any eligible voter can go and vote in any party's primary. You don't have to be a registered party person to vote in the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. You choose which primary you go to vote for. So it's important that people know that so that they can go out and vote in the primaries.
And the main elections will be November 2020?
Yes, the elections, general election will be in November of 2020.
How optimistic are you regarding the primaries, and do you have the funds to prosecute your campaign effectively?
We have a team of people working night and day, professionals that we have hired to help us in this campaign. They are out there in the fields, they are canvassing, they are knocking on doors, they're getting the word out there. That's what it takes to win the primaries. Name recognition. I have to go out there, I have to make people recognize my name so that my name will be the last name that they remember when they walk into the polling booth. Now that costs money. We are taking in some money, but we still need money to be as effective and as competitive as we can all the way up to the primaries.
Finally, in terms of your message to your core base, the African community, what do you have to tell them?
We need our voice to be heard. We need to engage in the political process of this state, of this community, especially where we live, Fort Bend County. And my message to us is we need to rally around and make sure we go out and vote. Vote for the person who is most likely going to advance your interest. I will be that person to hear you out. I will be that person to make sure that whenever you come before me, you are sure that justice is going to be fair towards you, and most especially you will be sure that you're not going to get a harsher treatment just because you come from a particular community. Everybody will be treated equally and fairly as well.
Thank you very much, Derek, for your interview and for making time to visit with me. This is Chido Nwangwu in a live interview with Derek Obialo, aspirant for the 400th District Court, Fort Bend County, Texas, United States of America.
Thank you.